And we're live. Hello, everyone. We're live close to on time. I was about to pat ourselves on the back for being on time, but no.
It's on time adjacent.
On time adjacent, yeah. Welcome. Tonight it is the 29th of June. So we are doing our quarter two wrap up and talking about quarter three. What's ahead for us. There's just three of us today, so it's probably going to be a shorter chat. Hi, Andrew. But yeah, it should be pretty fun. I'm excited to talk about how the year's going so far. Not only end of quarter two, halfway through the year.
Wild.
Yeah.
Although, has anyone in the history of ever, as the quarter ends halfway through the year, been like, yes, this feels like an appropriate amount of time has passed?
Cool. This feels okay. Yeah. No, I don't think I've ever felt like that. So.
I did have this horrible COVID started 5 years ago moment. When I was driving the other day, I was like,
yes,
that seems like it was more recent than that. That's that's half a decade.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
That.
So with those fun existential thoughts, that we're just kicking off the chat. Off to a good start here.
Yeah. So we always like to start by looking back before we start setting goals for the future. And so I'm curious if any of you recall any goals that you set for quarter two.
I voted because we had our election this quarter. I did that. And the party I voted for was successful, so that was good.
Yay! I'd love to know what that feels like.
One day.
Yeah, I remember my only definitive goal for quarter two was to finish up all the revisions I was working on, because I was still working on revisions of my vampire book and the never-ending revisions of mine and Kyra's book. I finished both of those. The me and Kyra book.
Well, great news, the revisions are over.
They're over in the same way that
that
a plane ride is technically over when it crashes into the ground. Yeah. It's done though.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So that was also the only thing I can remember that I set out at the beginning of the quarter that I really wanted to get done was to finish the Eternal revisions. And by finish, I didn't hope it was gonna be in the plane crash variety.
We did finish them.
We did finish them. And so much effort went into finishing them. We spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of feelings. Yeah, so the short version of that is we sent it off to my agents and kind of collectively decided that the story just kind of still wasn't working. So and Megan and I kind of decided. Megan and I decided we needed to not keep trying to beat that dead horse. The plane was already in the ground. We weren't going to start spinning up the propeller again.
No, not after 10 years of working on it. But it's finished, so mission accomplished.
Yeah, we did finish it.
Kyra had kind of preempted this chat saying she was willing to be a little vulnerable. So how are we feeling about writing these days? Because Kyra, Megan told me all of this, but I haven't really had a chance to talk to you. And
yeah,
I'm angry on your behalf. So.
Yeah, no, it's been a little bit of a rough ride. I guess in the really vulnerable. Additionally, my book died on sub officially this past quarter, so winning all around. Yeah, so this has kind of been where I'm at with writing and publishing over the past little bit. Had a book I loved, sent it on sub, decided to work on the next thing, decided with my agents that was going to be the book Megan and I, that you've all heard about ad nauseum at this point, we're working on, and just couldn't ultimately get that to a place where everyone felt good about it. So frustrating in that like I love the dogs coming in the back.
I know. I'm very confused.
So yeah, I think one of the there's been like a lot of really frustrating things about this. I think one of the things that I ruminate on a lot is that there's like only so much in publishing that you can control. And so for me, that's like, I can't control how my book does on sub. I can control whether or not, there's another thing, well, to some degree, whether or not there's like another thing to go on sub if the book fails. So it's been very frustrating just wanting to respond to this, book that has died on sub and being able to say like, okay, well, let's try the next thing. And consequently, the next thing is not ready yet because we had to go back to the drawing board after. I've taken to like mentally calling it the ordeal, the ordeal of me and Megan's book. So yeah, it's been a lot. I think like right now I'm feeling a lot of pressure to like like no one is forcing me to do any of this, but just like really wanting to get something on sub again, and additionally just like wanting to, I don't know, I guess kind of prove myself. Just like we had this book that didn't really work out, and I just want to be like, but look, I can write a good book. I can write a book.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a huge like ego wound to be like,
yeah.
Oh,
I worked on this for 10 years.
I worked on this for a long time, and you still hate it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I've been like, as I've been working on like this new thing that I've pivoted to, just like very in my head about like weird little things, like the fact that it's in third person, and I'm like, is there too much narrative distance, or is it just in third person, or like it takes place over a like longer time frame than most of the books I've written, so like I'll be sitting there like, is the pacing slow, or does it just take place over more months than most of the books I write? So yeah, that's where I'm at writing wise.
Are you excited about like potential like where you're going on projects, or just like, I don't know, don't fall too far down the rabbit hole of the pressure of it?
Yeah,
This is a good time to revisit the fun.
I think I'm as excited as I can be. I think because I've thought about this a lot and like thought about like, oh, do I maybe just like need to take a break? And I kind of think that like most of the things that are like anxiety inducing about this are not going to help if I take a break. And if anything, I kind of think they'll just like ruminate and get worse. But I do have this project I'm working on that I do really like. Like I said, I'm kind of in my head about it, but ultimately, like there's a lot of moments I really love, a lot of like characters that I really love. So I think it'll be satisfying to get that one out the door. And I do have moments when I'm working on it that I really enjoy it. Thank you, Andrew. The plane was in the air for a long time before it crashed.
I mean, long time.
It's had a good run.
But,
yeah, it's time for it to be decommissioned.
Yeah. Okay, someone else can talk about their feelings now.
Yeah. Megan, how are your feelings?
I think they're okay, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. I think after all of that, and then it's summer in publishing, so everything is so quiet. So that's a little like, oh, well, I wish it was less quiet, obviously. But I'm also kind of having fun just sitting in the, well, I don't have to finish something if I'm not having a good time doing it right now. If I want to play around with like a new idea, I can. I know I can finish a book pretty fast. So I'm just kind of enjoying. I think after we shelved that book, I thought, oh, I want to finish something really, really fast. And I very quickly realized that was going to make me not like writing very much if I tried to just pump something new out. So I would like for Q3 to have a new draft finished. But I'm not in a huge rush. I want to just enjoy for a little bit. I've been like picking up other hobbies, and work is going pretty well. I'm still pretty new in my career, so trying to get like established there and just enjoy writing. All I wanted at the start of this year was to enjoy writing again, and that is still the goal. And so far, it's going okay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Because we're doing next month, it's like all our Sunday chats are going to be write-ins. There's such a big part of me that wants to like jump in and just like write something, but I have like nothing that I want to write still, and maybe I'll just start something a la Pantsing a Nano, but it's hard to like get going knowing it's going, like there's not something I'm excited to write and it's going nowhere, but maybe I just need to like flex the muscle a bit and see what happens.
I think that's what I really need to do next month, is like, because I have been thinking a lot about like, oh, every week we're going to be doing a write-in, so it would be good to have something that I'm working on for sure. Yeah, maybe this week that's what I need to do, is just like, or maybe I'll just play and do like 4 different things and start them all next month.
Yeah. I've been making, just because I've got my bingo card for the year on Canva. So every quarter I've been just like making a copy of it and then like changing out the bingo spots to like steps towards some of the goals I haven't done. And then some other things that are just like not actually year goals, but something I'd like to get done. Or just like nudging myself towards 2025 movies. So just like how many I need to watch this quarter to get caught up, because I've watched 2 so far in the first half of the year, I think. So I think I'm gonna just
I've watched
quarter 3
too, so that's alarming.
Oh, I feel like I watched The Gorge and Thunderbolts. Oh, and How to Train Your Dragon. So I've watched 3. And I started Mickey 17 and could not finish it, but that's as far as I've gotten.
I think I took movies off of my bingo sheet this year, which is a shame because I've started watching a lot more movies. This week I watched Dawn of the Dead for the first time, the 2004 one. It was so good. Unfortunately, I think my write at least 1 day per week goal is dead, thanks to this quarter. But I got a lot of months in before losing that one, so that's something.
Sometimes it's better to just let a goal die than drag it across the finish line.
Exactly. Oh, you know what I want to do in quarter 3? This is the quarter I read a Tingler. An official, like a Chuck Tingle short novella.
Absolute worst case. If you're writing goals go completely to shit, I'm sure you could just do a little bit of that every Sunday and feel accomplished.
Yes, exactly. Yes. I think I could probably read a Tingler in an hour. They're pretty short.
I think so too. I was going to say that
I could read 4 Tinglers.
Maybe they're supposed to, yeah.
I'm still pitching the Word Nerds book club where we each read a different Tingler.
And then we do PowerPoints.
Amazing.
Or just talk about the plot, but we all talk about our own things, but interact with each other as if we're all talking. Kind of like those games where like one person's the imposter kind of thing.
And one person read one of his horror novels. 1985 Day of the Dead, Shopping Mall Scene Chainsaw. Okay, I'm writing that down. I have, because I was not allowed watching any R-rated films and most PG-13s as well growing up and in my early adulthood. So now I have a huge backlog of movies to catch up on. Day of the Dead. Nicole said, I'm still working through The Artist's Way. I hit the middle and lost a few weeks, felt guilty. Then I reread the introduction. And she says, this is typical. So I told myself I wasn't failing or behind, but right where I was supposed to be. I've definitely done that as well. I got through, I think, 3, and then woke up one day and was like, I'm not going to do that. So I need to get back into it. Ooh, Andrew said, I strongly recommend doing write-ins where every sprint you work on a different project and see which one you love. I like that. Each sprint.
I don't know that I can task switch that easily.
I think I could. I really think I could. I'm in just the right headspace to be doing that.
I love that for you. I know what I'm going to be doing during July sprints. So.
Finishing your revisions.
Finishing my revision.
Yeehaw.
And then after that, I might actually take a break. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't believe you for a second.
A break for
if there was ever time to, if there was ever a time to do it, it would be now.
Yeah.
Where are you guys at with reading goals for the year?
I
was asking more to boost Kyra up than.
Oh, okay.
I deliberately set a low reading goal that I think I hit in May.
Nice.
I was going really hard at the beginning of the year and have kind of tailed off since then, but I've read how many books have I read this year? 69.
Nice.
So.
Nice.
I'm
at 40. Not bad, not bad.
Wow, okay, y'all. I'm at 18. Yeah, I think I'm a little behind for my yearly goal. I did not read very much this quarter. But I always hit a month where I read like 50 books and then I hit the goal. So I'm not too worried. I started rereading Gathering Moss today. So
nice. I am on book 4 of my Dungeon Crawler Carl reread, but I am also reading other stuff. So
nice.
I've gotten really slow on like the physical books. I started out the year and was like, I'm gonna do more physical book reading. I was good at that for a little while. So I've been like very slowly working my way through Looking for Love in All the Haunted Places, which I am enjoying.
I think for me, I'm keeping up okay on the physical books, but I've really slowed down my audiobook listening, and that is really messing with my metrics for the year. But
I feel like with all the running you've been doing, especially.
Yeah. I can't listen. Audiobooks don't work for me on runs. And then at work, I used to listen to them, but I have to focus a little more now on the stuff I'm doing. So I haven't been able to listen to them at work either. But I do still have my Everand, so I do have a nice little TBR building up. Let us know in the chat if you're here. I see we've got some people here. Hi. Let us know how your quarter 2 went if you haven't let us know yet. And also, what are you hoping to accomplish in quarter 3? Do you have any book recs from the last quarter or movies or anything? I started playing Control, the video game, this quarter. It's weird. I saw people talking on that. Yeah. I saw people talking on Twitter about it back when I was still on Twitter. I got off Twitter this quarter, so that's something.
Very well done.
Yeah, thank you. But I saw people talking about how, it's the best game ever. It's so interesting. I am only a couple of hours into it, but the whole time you're in this like almost like FBI, CIA feeling building. Like there's a government agency that meets in here, but also it seems to have just like slipped between dimensions and there's this thing that's just
Ooh.
blaring in the background the whole time. Like the audio mixing is wild. There's just the most unpleasant sound in the background the whole time. And it's making it deeply unsettling, which I think is what they were going for. But I'm very curious to see how it plays out. And it is a little spooky, not in like a horror way, just like creepy, unsettling shit is happening. So I'm enjoying it so far.
You can get it for like less than $7 on the Steam sale. So it's not my normal kind of game, but maybe I'll risk it.
Yeah.
I think, this quarter I did finally play Hades 2 because I'd been putting it off knowing it was going to like, once I went in, there was no going back. And it did not disappoint because it had like a lot of the same characters from Greek mythology that are featured in Epic the Musical. So I was having a good time there. Just like, oh, I know you.
That's my friend.
Yeah. Or this is the horrifying sea monster that also tried to kill Odysseus. It's like we're the same person going through the same struggles for sure.
Totally.
Oh, and also I like was doing an interview like for someone at the climbing gym that I work at, and actually the girl I was interviewing is a high school student, and it was the first person I'd ever met in real life that was also a fan of Epic the Musical. So that was a win for me this week.
Wow.
It's like a real thing. Because she'd mentioned she was like a fan of musicals, and then we were talking about books, and she brought up that she likes Greek mythology. I'm like, you have these two interests. By the way, have you heard of?
Oh, Mr. Roro said, have you heard of Claire Obscure Expedition 33? I love watching playthroughs. My siblings have both become obsessed with that game in the last month, I think. I've heard it's like an RPG style video game, but very French.
Oh, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Like 10% off for the Steam sale, but it's not.
It's pretty new. My sister is obsessed with it. Andrew said I'm behind on reading for the quarter, but I am doing well with my summer reading goal, so it's all good. Summer reading is what it's all about.
Yeah, like I need like a summer reading TBR to like go back and find some ones that I'm like pumped to read, and just like make it feel like summer vacation where I finally have time to read all the books.
I did just get Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner's new book, Ladies' Night.
I haven't heard those names in so long.
I know, right? They just released like a sapphic, like princess and knight book that looks really good. And the title is amazing. From the second I heard it, I was like mad that I didn't come up with that title. So I'm excited to start that one. And Misty Kate said, not doing much writing, sadly, not since my dad passed, and Nano. I miss it, but I like talking about it in the meantime, but I still need to make time for more reading and more games. Yeah, I get that. I deeply get that. So it's not very fun. Not a fun place to be. But I do think that just consuming stories and stuff in the meantime definitely helped me get through. Just continue moving through. I'm trying to think. We said at the top of this that we'll probably have it be a little shorter since there's just the three of us here. So just warning you about that. And for anyone who came in late, or may have missed last week, in the month of July, we are doing all write-ins as a kind of like beat the summer slump thing. You don't have to be writing, but we will be doing word sprints or productivity sprints. And yeah, it should be a really good time.
Pretty much a regular time around here. I like it. We do write-ins every other week. I think it'll just be a lot of that. It's like,
More of
it's always
that,
a really
yeah.
good time. Yeah.
I know Andrew put some prompt ideas in the Discord that we should
Oh yeah,
utilize
dust those off.
during our July write-ins.
That would be fun.
Anything else anyone wants to do with their new quarter? I'm just looking at my like summer vacation list because I'll have my niece and nephew like a couple days a week. So I'd been like saving up like what are some things we could do. I briefly considered taking them to a Ren fair because I've always wanted to go to a Ren fair.
I want to go with my son to one of those so bad.
There's only like a few in the province all year, and like so the odds of the timing working out this summer aren't great. But I want to go to one at some point. But I want to like do it properly and not just like I don't know. I need an outfit.
Yeah, that's why I just missed like the closest really good one here. So I'm hoping that next year, and that will give me time to really go all out.
Oh, put that on future bingo card list.
Yes.
I would totally try that for next year.
Kind of reached the point of the year. I'm a baby about summer and the heat. So like I've kind of reached the point of the year where I'm just like vampire mode. I do not like to go outside during sunlight because it's too hot.
But the highlight of my weekend was that we bought shade for our backyard because we needed it desperately.
I love that.
I like being outside. I don't like being very hot.
Yeah. I also don't really love doing like water stuff. So like, you know, I really do just go kind of hermit during the summer. But I'm trying to think. So like for me for quarter 3, like obviously I want to get this revision of this new thing out the door and hope it goes better than last time. I sent my agent something. Well, it's not going to go worse. I'm pretty sure. We're looking up. Even if it goes badly, at least I didn't spend 10 years working on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like obviously I want to do that. It's been a time. I felt a lot of peer pressure to start crocheting, so I made 2 really bad granny squares. So I would like to in quarter 3, we'll keep the goals reasonable, make 1 good granny square.
I love it. I love it so much.
I believe in you.
Thanks. I already have like a needlepoint activity, but all my friends were crocheting, so yeah. So
and I'd make 1 good granny square to mine also, but maybe I will also try to embroider in quarter 3 and maybe we can just like create our own peer pressure.
I having done both, and maybe it's just because I've done embroidery more. I think I learned it easier though.
I like the potential of embroidery.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's way more you can do with crochet, but I've been like trying that for a really long time and have not gotten great at it.
You don't have to count in embroidery.
See, that's the thing I don't like about the embroidery. I want to
also like the embroidery projects, because like I don't know how well I can get behind it just like doing embroidery in a circle. Like I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. I just really want to like put flowers on my pants or something. That seems like
you could learn how to do that real easy.
Sounds amazing.
I could teach you how to do that. It'd be easier if we lived in the same place, but
we'll figure it out. Yeah. Putting embroider some pants flowers on my.
Well, what you should do is just get like a sampler. Like I know you don't want to do the hoops long term, but like get a sampler. It'll teach you how to do all of the flowers, and then you'll know. And then you could just do it on pants.
Because I did purchase like a sampler of just like the stitches once, and I did that. But that was like maybe a year and a half ago at this point.
Yeah.
I'm sure it still exists in my box of abandoned crafts. So
There's a like Daisy Granny Square that this crochet YouTuber I follow. She has a vest pattern for, and I haven't made anything yet that I plan to keep for myself. And so I am hoping this quarter to make that vest, and then I can wear that vest. So. And I want to run a half marathon next quarter.
jeez.
And maybe write once or twice. I've
I
really
still have
gotten
my pants
into
flower. Thank you very much.
I've gotten really into the woods this quarter is the thing. The thing I did the most in quarter 2 was I got really into the woods. And now I'm spending a lot of time there. And so I'm running a lot more.
See, I had a year, like I had one like summer where I tried to hike a lot because I like the woods. And I figured out the part that I like was when I could find a spot in the woods where I could just sit down and be in the woods. It wasn't the hiking I liked, it was just the sitting
See, it's
quietly in the
Florida.
woods.
I can't just sit in the woods.
Yeah.
There's too many creatures. I almost died in the woods this week because I walked into just a family of banana spiders. Just walked right into their web. And so, no, I'm not going off the trail again for a while. There will be no sitting in the woods.
I might not be going to Florida. Yeah. I say like I don't live in an area that has like mountain lions.
Yeah, wait a minute.
That I could.
You can't. It's a lot harder to just like accidentally run into a mountain lion's home.
That's true. I was like driving down like one of the main like in town streets today, and there was like a dead deer in the middle of the road. I'm just like, oh, welcome to the Mountain West, I guess. Yeah.
Stretch goal I would like to finish a new first draft though. In like writing things, I guess. Writing goals, if we must have them.
We don't need to have them. I will. No one's making me do that except for me.
Yeah, sorry, Crazy Foxy, to inform you about the existence of banana spiders. They're very large.
I'm looking it up. I don't plan on visiting Florida again in the next 3 years or so. So I can look. I'll forget this eventually.
Well, the thing is, I didn't realize we had them in this town. I hadn't seen any yet until I saw one up close.
Ooh, they're cool looking though.
They are, and they're not a problem. Like they can jump, but they don't attack or anything.
That's not great.
They don't fight. It's not ideal that they can jump, but they don't really care about people that much.
Meanwhile, Nicole saw a live deer twice this week.
Yeah, live deer are
We have
like,
those.
they're chill.
We have those in the woods. I've seen them a few times.
Sometimes I'll like book related goals for quarter 3. I think I can start writing again, whatever that like it's a really easy goal to check off ultimately. Like it doesn't have to be
I
didn't define
something.
it. Yeah. And then I think I'll hit my yearly reading goal this quarter.
Nice.
That's pretty good. If I can do those things and make some pants, flowers, and and crochet one good granny square, I think it'll be a success.
I believe in you. I really like, hang on, I just gave her name to Kyra, like, not that long ago. There's this YouTuber called Christine's Day. Christine is spelled Kristine. And I think she has amazing tutorials. All her stuff is really clear. She has her patterns. You can get the pattern for free just watching the YouTube video. But then if you want to like give her some money for making such a good pattern, she also has really detailed written versions of those same patterns on her Etsy. I love her. All of the stuff I've made that's looked really, really good has been, all of the granny squares that I've made that have been really, really good have been from her, including like
Nice.
this heart one was her.
It does look really, really good.
Highly recommend if anyone's wanting to get into crochet and make cute things.
Be very cute. If we had like more than like 6 regular followers and like everyone made a granny square and eventually made like one big blanket, it'd be amazing.
Adorable.
We could maybe pull off a scarf.
Totally.
I don't know who would get that scarf, but
We have to pass it around like the sisterhood.
Yeah,
of the
sisterhood of the traveling scarf.
it's actually kind of amazing.
Yes.
Eventually it turns into that like Doctor Who scarf if we just like keep passing it and everyone adds like one square. I love this idea. Let's see if Kyra and I can make a successful granny square.
Yeah.
And go from there.
And then we'll get to that afterward.
I was pretty close with the last one I made. It seems like a very achievable goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Well, we will be back next week with a write-in. So we'll have some word sprints. Andrew said, I will give up my turn with the scarf. I'm already sweating thinking about taking it outside.
Yeah.
We've got too many people living in places that are too
Oh,
hot
no.
for scarves.
We're Nicole is also somewhere where and is on board to just make a dozen squares and send them off to everybody. So I like Nicole's attitude way better. But no pressure.
Yes.
One thing at a time.
We'll make a Discord
remind me of
channel
this
for
idea.
Some of us
Yeah.
need to learn how to make a good granny square first.
But then, like, if everyone gets to pick their own granny square design, it'd be amazing.
Okay. And we got to get Des involved. They'll love it.
Like, this could be like next year's bingo card with the Ren Fair thing.
Yes. Okay. Much to consider.
Okay, Nicole's not somewhere warm. So, those of you who don't want to keep your scarf, I guess that's fine.
Oh, no. I'll
Or
wear a
like the-
scarf just for the vibes. I don't care that it's 150 degrees.
And I mean, if everyone's just sending like granny squares places, you could like technically do whatever. Make a placemat.
Make a vest.
Okay, future problem. I love you all. Thanks for watching.
Yes. Thank you all for being here. We'll be back next week with a virtual write-in. And you're all the best. I hope that we have an amazing Q3. And I think it's going to be great. So we'll talk to you all next week.